All right, we are live in the building
Yes, yes, we are.
here to talk to y'all about which one? Halloween kills.
Pills, yes.
Yes. Evil dies tonight.
Oh my God. Yeah, I need it to die tonight because we've been trying to get this damn review done for so long. It
For
needs to
so
it
long.
needs to die.
And this one ain't even gonna be long. Like we not even about to hold y'all that
Ooh,
long. And then
y'all about to get this quick half an hour because this is like the most
2 hours later.
right. This is the most boring Halloween movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was off to a good start though. Like I like how they picked up right where the last one left off. But then that's where it went downhill. It immediately went downhill right after that. And
Yeah, they picked up where it left off and then left it where it was. That's what happened.
man, it's like, woo. Where do you want
So
to start? Where do you want to
I
start?
mean, so we know like Lori was in the hospital. Like she ends up in the hospital because she
Mhm.
got stabbed in the last one.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. I don't even know where to go with it because like, there really is no story. Like
yeah, yeah,
it's literally Lori in the hospital the whole movie.
yeah.
Her granddaughter trying to like go out with the vigilantes to seek vengeance.
Hmm.
I guess if you want to say there's a story there with the granddaughter just trying to, join and get Michael Myers, but it's most okay. So if we're talking from a story standpoint, the story is about how Michael Myers has affected the town of Haddonfield,
Yeah,
right? Like that would be the general story of it,
yeah,
but there's no real story. It's
yeah,
just how everyone is affected by what Michael has done again.
yeah,
And you get introduced to like older characters, so you get to see like Lonnie again, you get to
yeah,
see Tommy Doyle,
yeah,
and you get to see the I always call her I call her by her real name, Kyle Richards from The Real
yeah,
Housewives of Beverly Hills, but she's back.
yeah.
The nurse is back. So it's really just a
It was nostalgic, I guess.
yeah, it's fan service. This is a
Man,
fan service
for
movie.
sure,
Like
for sure.
so, I mean, Lori's in the hospital. The daughter is like all fucked up. They think that Michael's dead,
Yeah,
pretty much, and she's upset. Lori's just trying to recover. Her granddaughter finds out that Michael's still alive. The sheriff tells the mom. The granddaughter's like, I'm going to get him. I'm going
yeah,
with my boyfriend and his dad, which the boyfriend's dad is Lonnie,
yeah,
grown up, which I thought was kind of funny.
yeah,
But pretty much, I guess the meat and potatoes of this movie is the kills because we can't
yeah.
say the kills aren't good. Like the kills are very good in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid but good.
Very.
Like convenient but good.
Oh
So
yeah.
you see like every year the survivors of the first Halloween get together at this bar to do like a remembrance and they toast to Lori because Lori never shows up, which why would she?
Mm-hmm.
Um and there's a black doctor and his black girlfriend
Yeah.
and she's like a nurse or whatever.
Yeah.
And from the bus crash from the first one is this other mental patient who escaped
Yeah. That poor man.
with
That poor man.
it's not funny. I'm sorry. It's not funny, but it is. So he's literally running through the town just trying to find help. He's like bleeding out the head. Like he's not all there. He's in an asylum. So he's just like hurting, just trying to figure out what to do. So he's just stumbling through town and everyone thinks that he's Michael Myers
Yeah.
for some odd fucking reason. Like, okay, riddle me this, Batman. Like, if this is the town that knows about Michael Myers, why would they all think Michael Myers is like a 4'11" balding man?
I mean, this, it's almost like they wanted a reason.
Like the math just don't math on that. Like
At
everybody knows
all.
the story, so it means there's
Yeah.
been eyewitness accounts, and we find out that Michael was arrested that night, right? Through some backstory through Lonnie's eyes, what happened with
Yeah.
Lonnie, right? So you
Yeah.
get that, which I love that scene of
Yeah.
them going back to the 70s and you see Lonnie running
Yeah.
into him and everything. You see that he does get apprehended and that the sheriff now, who was a deputy then, had the opportunity to kill Michael, but he accidentally killed his partner and like never told anybody.
Yep.
Like, so, you know, he goes through that whole arc of regret because he's still alive, even though in the last movie you thought he died. He's still alive and he's in the same hospital bed with Lori. So he starts confessing all this stuff that he feels responsible
Right.
for what happened because he could have killed him, but he accidentally killed his own partner.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that scene. I mean, it looked really nice. I like the guy. I even like the guy they had stand in to play Dr. Loomis because he looked pretty close. Like,
yeah, he did.
you know, but yeah, like most of the movie is them just like searching for Michael Myers, but they think that it's this little like so there's eyewitness accounts of what Michael Myers looked like. And Michael Myers was like 6'2" at like 17.
I mean, Michael Myers was a dude who could handle his own. Like, he was a big guy. He never was that poor man, and we never really got a backstory on that man of like what
But
was his.
I don't understand because he didn't even have a mask on. So like, how did y'all think that this is who it was?
Right.
Like, I get the whole idea of like hypervigilance, right? And like you're so on edge that you'll see anything. Like, I get that, but that part just didn't make sense to me. Like, there's no way you could have been like, oh, that's him.
Yeah. And also, I feel like Haddonfield seemed like a place to me that wanted to move on so bad, but they were still stuck in that time. Like, because we saw that, you know, a new couple had moved into their house, into his house. Like, why is his childhood house even
not condemned? I know. I didn't get that either.
The whole town knows what's happened, and y'all just paint over it, remodel it, and let this sweet gay couple move in, and they
can we talk about like just how great Big John and Little John were? They were the highlight of them. I could have seen more of them.
Yeah, I wish they would have included more of them. Honestly.
And on top of the fact that like Little John is fucking Stewart from Mad TV. That was when I was like, I don't know what we're watching now. Because all I can see is look what I can do. I couldn't really see outside of that.
Every time. That's why I was like, oh my gosh.
Like, okay, so we're gonna get to what the important part is, the kills, right? Like, I can't say Halloween Kills doesn't have good kills. So like when they find out Michael's still out there and they're chasing the mental patient, and it's Tommy Doyle, the girl, Kyle Richards, the doctor, and the girlfriend, the two black people, and nurse, and they hop in the truck and they're going to look for Michael, and they get to that park where those kids are.
Yeah.
Now, I liked the fact that they had the kids in the part 3 mask.
Yeah.
I've always loved those masks. But the fact that the kids were like talking shit to him, I thought that was fucking hilarious. Because that's how kids are. They're gonna be like,
kids are assholes. Kids are total assholes. So
yeah, like they're like, bitch, please, we ain't scared of nothing. And you like know something's gonna happen to these kids, but you don't think, because of what you think you know about the franchise, that you're gonna see these kids like fucked up. But these kids were like fucked.
Yeah.
Like they were strung up. Like, he had your motherfuckers hanging from swing sets. He had that one spinning on the goddamn merry-go-round.
I was not expecting that. Because usually they try to like avoid.
Michael doesn't kill children. Well, he did this time. I guess the cutoff was like 14 because he was like, oh, you're grown now.
Yeah, you can get it. You can get it.
And like the truck scene is my least favorite scene of the movie.
Yeah, me too. I was just like so bored. Like, I was yawning. Like, it was
okay. Like, I get the fact that the nurse had to die. She's died in like 2 separate movies at this point, because she died in H2O in the opening kill too.
Yep.
Right. Was it what's his name? Josh Gordon-Levitt or whatever his name is. Yeah, in that scene when he got the hockey skate to the face. So she died again in this movie. So I knew she was gonna die because she's like old. So,
yeah.
They're taking her out.
This movie had no problem taking out, like, even though they introduced us to all these like legacy characters,
they were like
nostalgic. It was like, oh yeah, they all are expendable, boo.
So like I knew she was gonna die, especially when she had that big, like she was shooting all wild or whatever. So I knew she
was oh my gosh, that annoyed me. Like, although the kills were good in this movie, they were just so like the characters themselves just did not make smart decisions.
They were just very paper thin. Like they were just there just to be there.
They were there just to be killed, especially like when they left the bar and they're like, oh, he's in the car, and they run back in the bar and they're like, Michael Myers is out here, and I'm just like, well, who the hell is it? Is they gonna show us? What the hell? You know, like you getting us all hyped up, like what the hell? Why would you
see this little old man like trying to get out the car?
Right? It was like, come on, like they didn't have no type of common sense.
But like, okay, so she gets it in the car, and then like the Kyle Richards character, she just breaks. She's like, fuck y'all, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And then she runs by and sees the kids, and she's like, I'm really fucking out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So Tommy Doyle split off from them to go to the hospital. He said, I'm going to protect Lori.
Yeah.
Right? Because she protected us. I'm going to find Lori. He goes to the hospital, so he's not with them. Which is Anthony Michael Hall from 16 Candles.
Yeah.
I've always loved everything he's in. So, but then like the doctor gets like killed in the back seat.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then the girlfriend has like the Beretta. Like that motherfucker is huge.
Man.
And she tries to shoot him, and he like pops the door on her and it spins around and shoots her in the head. And I was like,
that was wild. I was like, what is happening here?
Like, I don't want to be stereotypical here.
Yeah.
But
come on, say it. Come on, bring it. Bring it.
Like, I feel like black people and like country white people are genetically predisposed to knowing how to shoot a gun. I'm just gonna say it.
Like
I could pick up a gun. I mean, I don't go shooting, but I'm sure I could figure it the fuck out if somebody's trying to kill me.
Exactly. Like I would know how to handle myself.
And she wasn't holding it sideways either. So I'm trying to figure out like how the fuck
she didn't even hold it sideways. It's like, girl, give me the gun. I was looking like, pass me the gun. God,
like he really kicked the door and that shit went boom.
Yep. Crazy, right? Like he had this superhuman strength. And remember, Michael Myers is old as fuck. This geriatric serial killer is whooping the town's ass. Like it's like at this point, it's like 4-0. Like he undefeated.
Put a pin in that because we're gonna get to that shit. We're gonna get to that shit. You already know what I'm talking about. So
Yep.
Kyle Richards is still running. He catches up to her somehow with his 80-something-year-old knees. Yeah. Okay, Megan Thee Stallion. Yep. So he finds her and she's like hiding under this like brook. And for some reason, he's so smart, but he didn't think to just like bend down.
Yeah.
So she gets away.
Yep.
We don't even hear from her the rest of the movie. Literally, she just gets away. Like, you don't even see her the rest of the movie.
Yep. Yeah.
Her contract. She's like, I'm a fucking housewife. I'm not dying.
Right.
So, like, Tommy Doyle gets to the hospital, and everybody's in a panic. What is he gonna do? Oh my God, he hurt my boy. Blah, 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 blah. The kid's mom, the boy that got strung up on the fence in the last movie, his mom is there.
Yeah.
Freaking out. And Lori's daughter's freaking out. The granddaughter's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm going with my boyfriend and his dad, and we're gonna finish this.
Yep.
She's gone. It's just the daughter and Lori in there and the sheriff. And they're all, Lori's talking to the sheriff and they're sharing their somewhat romantic feelings for each other, which I thought was so odd. Like, this is not the time, but whatever. I get they were setting up for the next movie.
Yeah.
But apparently, like, if Ben Schramer got the dude that in the first original Halloween, they were talking about hooking Lori up with Ben Schramer, right?
Right.
And Ben Schramer actually gets killed by Michael.
Yeah.
Inadvertently. So she actually had a crush on the sheriff, but she never told anybody. Mm-hmm. And he liked her too. So it's this weird, like, spin the blog. Let me tell you how I feel about you because we might die. Shit.
It was like a 80, a 70, 60-year-old spin the block. That was the longest spin the block I have ever.
Yeah.
Just like, are we doing this right now?
Because like you're the sheriff and she's a recluse. So it's like, are you confessing because y'all might die? Like you could have been.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever. Anyway, I mean, she had like a whole husband and some kids and shit, but okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So the granddaughter's just trying to process everything, and she's trying to keep the mob down in the hospital because the mob is growing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Tommy Doyle shows his old pumpkin headed ass up talking about we're gonna protect you the way you protected me. And it is very heartfelt that he lets Laurie know how much like he appreciated that she protected his young, because they were kids.
Yeah.
Like protected his young life, because those are kids that she was babysitting.
Right.
He goes downstairs and he gets everyone riled up, and then we get the evil dies tonight shit. And it's like, this is where I was like, this isn't gonna end well. Like when I look back on the movie, where I check out, because it was like they were trying to make fetch happen and it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if they were like, oh, this is gonna be the tagline. I don't know. Like, did they put that on the poster?
I don't know.
Because they should have.
Yeah.
Which they fucking said it.
Yeah. I mean, that was the mantra.
It was the motto, nigga, YOLO. Like they just could not let it go. Like so then they see the little man from the mental hospital running through the hospital, and someone gets the bright idea. They be like, there he is.
Yeah.
Where's Michael Myers? And probably the saddest thing I've ever seen in a movie in my life.
Yeah.
Like horror movie, like this one hurt. Like I was like more sympathetic about this poor man, even though he could have literally eaten 10 people.
Yeah.
Like we don't know what he did. He could have been a fucking serial killer too.
Yeah.
But they chase him through the hospital, and like Laurie's daughter realizes that it's not him.
Right.
Right, because she's already upstairs.
Yeah, she has some sense.
Yeah, she's already upstairs when he's running past her, and she hears all the people.
Yeah.
So she runs after him first, and she realizes that it's not him.
Yep.
And she lets him go past her, and she tries to hold everybody off.
Yeah.
And they just bulldoze her ass. I mean, she's one person, and she's like the size of a stick figure.
Right.
So they get past her, and like they get this man to the edge of the goddamn building.
Yeah. So sad.
And the man just falls. He just jumps, like he falls. Like, and you think, oh, they're not gonna show this. Nah.
No.
Yeah.
By everything. That was that's horrible.
You saw all that shit. Just like it was on par with Old Girl's Death and Scream 6. Like you saw that hit, and it was not pretty.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh.
And then they realize that it's not him when they go check on him.
Yep.
Which is like the original sheriff from the first movie. He's like all old and like big now, so he's like a security guard at the hospital.
Right.
But like he's like, yeah, it's not him.
So y'all did all this for nothing.
Y'all killed. Okay, we're gonna put innocent in air quotes because we don't know what this man did. But y'all killed an innocent man. Y'all killed the wrong person.
Right.
And you know the whole time they're like, well, Michael's on his way to the hospital, and it's like, no, he not. Michael's asking about no damn hospital.
Right.
Right.
He is having a good time out here in these
He
streets.
out here living his life. He go to the one couple's house, the black lady and the old white man.
Yes. Oh.
Now that is my favorite kill of the movie, because it's not because the kill is so magnificent.
Yeah.
It's the fact that this man pulls out every knife. It's like, nope, not that one.
Yeah.
Nope, not that one. Nope, not into this man's body.
Oh my gosh. Yes. That was they did justice with
He turned that man to a human knife block just to find the one knife that he wanted.
Yep. It was like, this the one?
Yeah.
Like he was like, this is my shit. Yep.
But like he just kept, I mean, like the man had like 8 knives sticking out of his back.
Oh my gosh.
And the poor wife got the damn light bulb stuck through her neck.
I know. Ooh.
That was pretty gruesome.
That was Chef Kiss.
Yeah,
though.
like I like the fact they're not cutting away from much in this movie. Like
Yeah.
it was enjoyable, but then so they're like, yeah, he's coming to the hospital, and they figure out like, no, he's not, bitch. Like he's
Right.
coming back to his house,
Right.
like he always fucking does. And
I mean, come on. He always goes back to his house.
I think what's more hurtful is the fact when they break it down for Laurie that he was never looking for her,
Yeah.
that he didn't give a damn about her.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that she wasted all these years of her life being worried somebody that wasn't even thinking about you. Like that's a different type of hurt. Like,
Like 60 years, bruh. Like 60 years.
you could have been out here dancing topless on cop cars, living your best life instead of being in the goddamn boonies shooting guns. This man didn't even remember your ass. You just happened to be. You were just there.
Yep. That was it.
Right. And the doctor really orchestrated all of this, not because he remembered you, just because he wanted to see him kill somebody. Like you
Yes.
literally,
Yes.
you took up no real estate in this man's mind.
At all. Mm.
And you raised your daughter and everybody else to be worried about somebody that wasn't even thinking about you.
Man, that's embarrassing. I'll have secondhand embarrassment.
Secondhand embarrassment, like
Embarrassment.
emotional damage, like
For real. It made me feel like my life was a lie. I was like,
wasted my whole life.
right?
So, she gets pissy about that. Her daughter's trying to comfort her. And it's funny because before the granddaughter leaves to go off with her like boyfriend and the dad to join the vigilantes, the mom's like, don't go.
Yeah.
We can keep you safe here. And she's like, no, I'm tired of this.
Yep.
And she leaves a knife for Lori in Lori's bed.
Mm-hmm.
Or some G shit. Like she knew, like, just in case, let me leave you this weapon.
Right. She slid it to her. Like,
she didn't give it to her mama.
Right.
She gave it to her grandma.
Yeah, yeah. She knew what type of time her grandma was on.
Right. So the poor man dies off the side of the building, and they're like, we're going after this motherfucker. So everybody has figured out that he's going to go back to the Myers house. And then we get Big John and Little John, which Big John is a very short gay man and Little John is a very tall gay man.
Yeah.
And they're waiting for trick-or-treaters on Halloween. And they are funny as fuck. Like probably the funniest part of this movie is them two and their dialogue, because they really sound like a real married couple.
They did. They really did. I was so sad when they died because I'm like, damn, they was having a good time.
They was just bickering about nothing.
They just picked the wrong house. They just honestly picked the wrong house.
Yeah, they had redecorated. It looked real nice. Like it was snazzy.
It is.
So these kids like play a prank on them, pretending like one of them like died from Michael Myers or whatever, and they get like real pissy about it, and they start like telling them the story of Michael Myers and scares the shit out of them.
Yeah,
which I thought was great because that's the kind of person I am in my neighborhood. Like I want to scare your children. I don't want to talk to them.
Absolutely.
So, I'll scare your kids. So you realize he's going back, and he like shows up, and like you already know.
Yeah.
You already know they ain't gonna make it, and it is pretty sad. Like he like stabs him up pretty good for like no reason. Like Little John was trying. Like Big John's the more masculine one.
Yeah.
He's little.
Yeah.
And like Little John was like trying with that little cheese knife.
Yeah, he was, man. He had it. He was like, he had it.
You know what it reminds me of?
He was confident with it.
It reminded me of Harlem Nights with the gun. He had this little cheese knife. Like, what are you doing with this?
Right.
But he saw his man, and he was like, oh no,
Yeah.
not my husband.
Oh man.
He was going to protect his husband, but
by any means. Oh,
it didn't work. So like, the granddaughter and her boyfriend and Lonnie like show up. The house is all dark.
yeah.
Okay, Lonnie's like, I'll be back. Y'all stay here. And we already know you never tell people you back,
You
right?
never say that. Like, you not
So
come back.
He goes in, and like it's been a minute, and they decide to go in, and the son goes upstairs, and his dad's like just fucked up. And probably my second favorite kill of the movie is when he gets his head stuck in that damn railing,
Yes.
and Michael just boots the shit.
Man, Michael was undefeated in this fucking movie.
Literally booted the shit out of his head.
Basically, man.
And
It seemed like Michael really had fun. Like, it seemed like he was having fun all this time.
Oh, he was having a great time.
Fun time.
I will say that this is probably the most fun Michael Myers you've ever seen is in this specific movie. There was nothing, it's like he was enjoying his work. Like how the first one, when he like pins him to the wall and like does like the enjoy, like it was like that the whole movie. But the granddaughter's there, and she decides she's gonna run up on Michael Myers for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I get she's a main character, so I knew she wasn't gonna die, but like she was kind of holding her own. Like she was like fucking him up a little bit, but he was just eating them shits like M&Ms.
Yeah.
And then he stabbed her ass, and like you think that she's like done for, and her mom shows up with the axe and like hurls it at his ass, and then she takes his mask.
Yeah.
She's like, "Ah, got you, bitch!" And
Right.
like takes off running, and we know this man can't kill anybody without a mask.
Yeah, that's his like.
I would love if someone explored that part of it. Like, what is it about
That mask.
the mask? Because like he cannot function without it. He's like an infant without his mask.
Yep.
So he runs after her, and you realize that she set a trap for him because in all like the neighborhood lights come on, and like the whole neighborhood is there, and then they're standing there, and it reminded me of this episode of The Simpsons. I don't know if you are a big Treehouse of Horror person like me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But do you remember the episode, the segment where they killed Ned Flanders?
Yes.
And they had the camera pan and everybody was looking at him in the neighborhood, like flipping coins and shit. That's what it reminded me of, because it was just like everybody was just standing there like this, just
about to kick your ass. Yep.
Yeah, like it was a fucking rumble.
And listen, now I wasn't like the movie in itself. This was a great scene. Like I was happy for this because I was like, finally y'all about to beat this old nigga's ass. Like, come on.
Now, had they not said, hey, we're making a trilogy, I would have been more excited for it. But I was like, oh no, he's not gonna die like this. We got one more movie.
Yep.
Like, and kudos to the lady that was beating his ass with an iron, because that takes skill.
Yes, absolutely.
Just to swing an iron.
Absolutely.
Not a plastic iron, people. One of those old school metal Westinghouse. Like, she was slaying that cord.
Man, that's work.
Yeah,
that's work.
And Tommy Doyle has old Huckleberry, his bat that he's been carrying around the whole movie and ain't done shit with, but whatever. So everybody's giving Michael that work. And I mean, he's got blood coming out of his mouth. And it's like all shot like very sensually with these nice like backlightings of him being like, oh, oh. And they are whooping his ass.
Nobody had a gun though.
Why does no one have a gun in Haddonfield except for Lori and the police? Like, just.
And this is the thing, like in real life, we know white people love their guns. So you mean to tell me nobody had a gun? In Haddonfield, where Michael Myers, listen.
We've seen enough protesters be threatened by the suburbs to know that you guys have guns.
For real. Y'all love them. Y'all not giving them up. So, but everybody giving them work.
Everybody had like bats, shoes, Crocs, iron, pipes, like
crowbars,
frying pans, like anything they could grab out of their house. Like, right. Probably an orange and a sock, like just random shit.
Yeah.
So you think he's about to go down and he gets that last bit of strength and he like
he got it from the depths of his soul.
Yeah, no, he got his hands on the mask. That's what it was.
That's what it was.
And
he got his strength back. Yep. He was
this
revived.
Non-supernatural character, whatever.
Yep.
And he just starts like he literally kills everybody like the Kingsman movie. It's like a Kingsman movie. Yeah. He literally you know what? It's kind of like that scene in Scary Movie when they're doing the rap battle. That's exactly what happened. Like you just looked up and
man, and that was another thing too. First of all, y'all ain't had no guns. Nobody was like stabbing him in organs, head. Like we got to do some damage because this ain't a regular nigga that we.
All I'm saying is nobody took out a kneecap.
Nobody took out a kneecap or Achilles. They could have took out that Achilles heel.
And he's an elderly man with osteoporosis. I'm sure that asylum food was not full of minerals and calcium. Right. So I'm sure his brittle ass bones should have been worked on, but whatever. So like it's like that Scary Movie scene. Like you just see Michael like hitting people and you look up and like it's just bodies everywhere. Like once he's done, it's just a ring of dead people.
I mean, he's still undefeated.
The most undefeated motherfucker in the planet. So then Tommy Doyle comes up with his weak ass bat. And it's like, in my mind, I'm like, nigga, did you not just see the 20 people he just fucking killed?
He just slaughtered them. Okay.
Man, I would have been gone.
Man.
As soon as he got up, I'd have been like Brenda.
Yeah.
Cindy.
Right.
What am I doing with this one bat?
Yeah.
So, he bites the dust too. Like Michael just fucks him up for GP, like, because you started this shit.
Yep.
So I'm gonna finish it. So then the granddaughter is like, she got stabbed. She's trying to like recover, right? And once again, they're like, we didn't catch him.
Yep. He slipped through our fingers.
Like this motherfucker is good. Like we just can't.
He's good. He's good. That guy's good.
That boy good.
I couldn't understand. At this point, I was laughing. I was laughing so hard at this part of like, all right, man, I might as well just root for Michael because he's the guy to root for.
I just kept thinking like, if this nigga show up with this cowboy hat one more time, it's not good news.
Nope.
So she, in her infinite dumbness,
yep,
talking about there are very few people in a horror movie where I'm like, you are the dumbest person I know.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I feel like she used to be number one.
Yeah.
Until like Gail in part 6 opening the fucking door.
Yeah.
Gail took the number one spot, my nigga, with that.
Absolutely.
But this bitch said, okay, well, Michael Myers is still out there and I'm the one that stole his mask. Let me just go upstairs real quick.
Why?
Why?
Why? That makes no sense. And I screamed that out when she said, I said, that makes no sense right now.
Let me just take my Christmas sweater and go upstairs.
I'm gonna go upstairs alone, by the way.
Alone, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna look out the window and think about Michael the child.
Yep. Unprepared, you know, you're not armed, unarmed too. Let's put that, let's add that in there. You go by yourself, unarmed, upstairs, just to reflect out the window. Bitch, what?
You couldn't do that in the back of a squad car on the way to see your mama.
I'll reflect when that nigga's head is off of his body. Okay. He's dead. No.
And like, it is a beautifully shot scene. Like I said, I can never take away the cinematography. This movie is beautiful.
The cinematography was on point.
The movie is absolutely stunning.
It was shot very well.
But when you get that split of Michael killing her in the window, and seeing Laurie leave the hospital, it's beautifully done. And I think it would have set up for what they were going for initially. Like, you can tell that scene was supposed to be her going to find Michael and finishing it.
Yep.
That's not what we got in part 3. But I was like, okay, this isn't the best movie, but we're obviously going to the showdown because she ripped the bandages. First of all, she shot her ass up with morphine.
Yep.
We're just some gangster shit. I've had to put some shots in my body by myself before. It's not fun. But she stuffed herself full of drugs. Ripped the
and morphine off. At that.
Which is strong as shit. Okay. She ripped the bandages off and walked her ass out the hospital with the butcher knife. So in my mind, it's like, oh, we're getting the showdown. That's not what we got, unfortunately. But I like the way the ending was shot. I like the ending. I like the ending of this one better than the ending of the first one. But I like the first movie as a whole better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's the movie. Like, it's not. That's the theme. The theme of these movies is there's no story. We just want to. It's giving me Freddy versus Jason vibes where there's no real story. We just want to see y'all fight.
That's it. And you know what? And I want to put a pin somewhere really quick. I don't appreciate the hate that Freddy versus Jason got by everybody. I love Freddy versus Jason. I was here for them fighting. Wasn't here for the storyline. The characters were terrible. Wasn't rooting for them. I literally was like, I have to choose Freddy. Like, I have to choose him. He has to win.
I'm one of those people that hates Freddy versus Jason as it was presented. But I love Freddy versus Jason as a comedy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I didn't take it serious. I never took that movie. Never meant to be.
It was supposed to be a horror movie, and it was a fucking comedy with Freddy and Jason. I knew we were fucked, and no disrespect to the queen because she has come a long way.
Yeah.
But when I saw Kelly Rowland on the docket as a fucking teenager, I knew.
Yeah. As a token, she was definitely her token.
And we're talking about Red Street Bob Kelly before Kelly like found herself. Because like now she can act her ass off. But with what she was given to do, not
it was terrible. Terrible.
But I think that it's a funny movie.
Yeah. I like looking into like numbers. I'm a numbers person, and just reading the reviews from critics and people from back then. It was supposed to be another movie to that, but
yes. Now this is my area of expertise.
Yes.
So when I look at all of the unwritten scripts and all the what's the word I'm looking for? Just all of like the what's the word? I know the word, I just can't think of it. But all of like the initial scripts, like the shit that they presented.
Yeah.
And all the people. I mean, hell, even like the dad from part 1 wrote.
Yeah.
And to think of all the things that it could have been.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like it. When I find out what got passed over, and then I find out what we got, I always am like, I hate it.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm still upset that we didn't get Pinhead.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if Jason goes to hell and Freddy drags him down to hell, then why is this not in hell?
Yeah, because I mean, who runs hell? I mean, that's
right.
Pinhead's like that's his home, right?
I didn't like the actors. I'm sorry, and I know we love John Ritter, and I know his son was supposed to like be amazing, but he was terrible. The only good person in that entire fucking movie, and I'm going to say this with my whole chest, because even Robert Englund wasn't on his A game in this movie.
You think so?
I love that old white man.
Yes.
I love that old. I would give him my number today.
Yes.
Okay? Especially when I saw him in person with the gold chain with the little taco meat out. He's still fine. Yeah. Look, I love this man with my whole heart, but not his best performance as Freddy. So
he was just, I feel like he was just like, I gotta check real quick.
I feel like that was his last performance as Freddy, and I feel like he did the same thing to tie it back in to what Jamie Lee did, which is I'm doing this for the fans.
Yeah,
that's it.
I appreciate that,
because the only person in that movie that was good was old dude's brother in the bathtub who was Scud Farkus in A Christmas Story. Now he was eating the scenery up.
Yeah.
And there was more scenes with him that they cut out.
Okay.
That was supposed to go more into what actually happened to him. Because remember, his brother kept saying, Freddy killed my brother and they think I'm crazy. And
right.
That he, committed, he offed himself. And they have more scenes showing you what actually happened to the brother.
Oh, okay.
But all we got was the bathtub scene.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I was like, why would they have him in this movie and not give him a bigger part? Like, he's legendary.
Yeah.
He's fucking Farkus. Like, how you don't do that to the most legendary bully of all time, besides old dude from Back to the Future. Like, you don't do that.
Yeah.
Right. But there were more scenes. Like, there's just so much more that was going on. Our lead girl was ass. The boyfriend was ass. Kelly Rowland was annoying. The best fucking kill of the movie was the bed. Like, the actual first real kill.
Yeah.
Right? The bed kill. Like, and the cornfield was pretty cool.
Yes.
Right. And
the fight scenes wasn't that bad either.
And I will always shit on this movie because they did not put Kane Hodder in that movie like they were supposed to. I don't give a fuck if you wanted a taller Jason. I don't give a shit what you thought about it as a director. I get it. You made Bride of Chucky and it was great, but they fucked up when they took our real Jason, Jason, and didn't put him in that movie.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you on
that. The Jason wasn't good. He was just tall, but he wasn't good.
Yeah. Even though Jason doesn't speak, he still has a lot of personality, and we know we love him. You know what I'm saying? We know when it ain't him. Yeah, we know when it ain't him.
So if you were gonna replace Robert, you shouldn't have replaced Kane. You should have just had Kane wear some high heels or some shit. No.
And I mean, I digress. Jason didn't need to be taller because Freddy was a shrimp. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't need to be taller.
Literally, I'm telling you, if you watch, and it's on Tubi now.
Yeah.
That Nightmare on Elm Street documentary. If you watch that shit and you see how they navigated that shit, and on top of that, the fact that the fucking writers and directors really threw Kelly Rowland under the bus because she said, FAG, and that's a terrible word.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if she just came up with that on her own.
Right. I don't think so.
Like, they were real shitty to her in that fucking documentary. But yeah, I mean, that movie's just ass, but it has its place in time in your marathon.
Yeah.
Whereas I can assure you, I love Halloween movies. I watch them all year round. I will never watch these three.
Yeah.
As a part of my marathon. It's not happening. It's too annoying to me. And it's even more annoying because this is the last time you're going to see Jamie Lee Curtis be Laurie. It's like, why do we always have to leave on a sad note?
Honestly, it was just like, why? The biggest question was, why did these need to be made? Because I asked the same question about the Rob Zombie Halloweens. Like, why did this need to be made?
This is what I'm figuring out with the more research that I do about Hollywood shit. It's like when the IP is up.
Okay.
Right. And Teen Titans taught me this. So when the IP is up,
Teen Titans be on it.
Dropping gems.
They be knowing.
That's the episode with De La Soul. So if when the IP is up though, they have to either do something with it or it gets sold.
Oh, okay.
So when you see a franchise that didn't need to be remade come back, it's because they had to either do something with it or it had to be sold. And fun fact, the person who started that shit is the Disney Corporation.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right? The Disney Corporation started that shit so that way they could make more money off of their stuff. No, correction. It was started because of the Disney Corporation being a monopoly, and the legal system was like, y'all can't do that. So they had to make it to where IPs have a time limit.
Okay.
So right. That's how Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey got made, because the IP was up.
Absolutely.
And someone bought that shit.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, there's a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming out. Seth Rogen bought the IP.
There you go.
Right?
Ooh.
They're taking scripts right now as we speak for A Nightmare on Elm Street, because they
are.
IP.
Did you see where the guy who played Alex in Final Destination, he wants to play Freddy?
Devin Sawa, yeah.
I was like, no. I personally don't see it.
Here's the thing though, and I don't know if you watch the Chucky TV series.
I do.
But he's kind of on his, like, he's pretty fucking good.
He is.
Now, if I had a choice of who I wanted to play Freddy, it'd be Bill Skarsgård, because he did Pennywise. Yes. He's Nosferatu. He has the range.
Okay.
Or, and I've always said this, there have been articles discussing this, and I feel like this is a very overlooked person. Mm-hmm. Why is Kevin Bacon not Freddy Krueger?
I agree. We've talked about this too.
Why is Kevin Bacon not Freddy Krueger? He's even old enough at this point.
Yeah. I would, you know what? It's hard for me because we could have a whole episode just about Robert Englund. We love him. We know him. It's very hard for me to get somebody else playing Freddy Krueger than Robert Englund. But I'm not gonna say absolutely not. But I can't see.
You want to know why it's not hard for me? It's not hard for me because I want that man to retire.
Yeah, he's been working. He's been giving us. He's been working for us.
That man's been working, and that's the thing. People forget he was working before Freddy Krueger.
Absolutely.
He had a whole sci-fi career. That man has been He has been working.
He's given us his whole life.
Let that man just be with his wife, be happy, and go see his fans.
He has given us his whole life. I want him to just be happy so he can see us. You know what I'm saying?
And at this point, he really does just love going to see his fans at these conventions. He loves it. Just let that man have that part of his life back. Like, he's in his 80s. Let it go.
Like, and to be truthfully honest, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do if I never meet Robert Englund, Brad Dourif, Tony Todd. I need to meet these people in real life.
Tony Todd is up there too. Like,
I know they all is. All is up there.
I didn't get to meet Robert Englund. Somebody else did.
But you got close enough though. You got close enough.
Right, but I got to hear the man speak.
Absolutely.
That's being
in real life.
Right, which is probably why my baby's so weird, because he was in the same room cooking.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I would love to meet Tony Todd too, but no, I just feel like Kevin Bacon's overlooked. Because if you watch, and I don't think enough people have watched that movie, but if you watch Stir of Echoes,
okay,
like
I started watching that and I didn't finish it.
It's so underrated. It's such an underrated ghost movie.
It was me. Like, I started watching it, I got distracted really quick,
and you can't be sleepy. You can't be sleepy either.
Yeah, that's me too. I will fall asleep.
Those hypnosis scenes will make you tired
on any movie. So it's like, I'm gonna give it another try. But I did hear it was really.
The hypnosis scenes will make you sleepy, like, for sure. So you have to watch it. But no, like, he did so, like, I just feel like he's being overlooked for this role, and I feel like he would jump at the chance to do it.
Yeah. If he's down with it, I think I can see him. I can see him.
Kevin Bacon started in horror movies. He just did another one. I haven't watched it, but I've heard great things. The They Them.
Okay, I haven't watched that either yet.
I heard it's great though.
Yep, I heard it's really good.
Yeah, so I mean, that's who I would want. But yeah, I mean, obviously you guys know how you feel about this one, because we start talking about something else, and that's usually the sign that we are not fans.
I know, right? We always we hop around to different stuff.
It's that ADHD shit. But I just feel like I don't, like, we started off here and then we hit that decline, and I really didn't have hope for the third one, but I was like, I gotta watch it.
Yeah, we got to. You know, we have to watch the third one just because this is what we do. Like, we gotta critique everybody. We have to critique it. So
I think everybody genuinely agrees about the third one.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And we'll get to that because, as usual, I have thoughts because. And that's the thing. I'm not so critical of a person where I don't see the good in things. Like, even though part 3 is like a literal dumpster fire for a trilogy, there are parts of it that I understand where they were going with it. But it's sad when you realize that the trilogy was going one way, and then because they decided to do rewrites. And I understand that COVID affected everybody differently, but it shouldn't affected what was already put down on paper. Like, y'all didn't have to do anything differently with that.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with stuff, great, but I don't know if it was out of boredom. I don't know if it's because everybody was at home. I don't know if like this was like a situation with too many chefs in the kitchen. But
I think it was. I honestly think that's what it seemed like, because it bounced around. It bounced around too much. Where I'm like, okay, so one person must have said this, and they really couldn't come to an agreement, so they just compromised and put all of it in there. I also feel like the thing with COVID is a lot of people being at home in their own thoughts was not a good thing.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta admit that wasn't a good thing. A lot of COVID happened, and I mean, it made people be creative and come up with new ideas and such.
Unless you are me and the writers of Halloween Ends, you didn't do anything with that time productive.
Man, I don't know. Like, I don't know what they was thinking.
I just feel like I hate when I see a thing that could have been great get like fucked over just because you wrote yourself into a corner. Like it.
Yep. It happens to the best writers too. That's the crazy thing, and that's why I be trying to tell people, because people be like, "Oh my gosh, I'll never watch them Tubi movies," but some of them Tubi movies, they be good. Like the writing be kind of on point. They just ain't got the budget, and it shows. You know, they ain't got the budget for certain shit. So
you know what? I will never forgive you for Tiffany the doll. So I don't know about that.
I gotta take that L. It's okay. I'll take that L.
But I'm gonna watch part 2. So
I'm gonna take the L. It's okay. It's okay.
And I know I'm gonna watch part 2 because now I'm invested. Because I just want.
For me, honestly, it's just really about, I have to critique this. I have thoughts. We have thoughts. So it's like,
I just want to know about the dude in the hat going, these dolls out here. I want him to come back because he was like the best part of the movie for me.
He really was.
Terrible.
He was
terrible. But then I tell myself all the time too, like, bitch, you ain't never made no movie, so you don't know what that struggle is like.
Hey, but still.
I think, what, I would have liked Tiffany the doll more if it wasn't for the opening, because the opening was just horrible.
They
were like, here, bitch.
They had to do what they had to do. And it's funny because I talked to the director of that movie, and she was letting me know a little something of what was going on behind the scenes. Niggas was showing up late.
Oh, we definitely have to. Okay, no, hold that, because we definitely got to review that movie. You got actual. Hold that.
Yeah, she told me about like different.
Keep that in the cup.
Didn't show up. I was like, damn. And she was like, watch this scene and you'll see that this happened. I was like, damn, girl, for real.
No, we got to do an episode on that.
Yeah.
Hold it. But yeah, between that and like Tiffany herself, like I was just like, why?
Yeah. It's terrible. But
no,
it's so bad it's good.
All of that's the thing. And that's what I was about to say. There are movies like Tiffany the Doll and the Tubi movies and Halloween 6 and all these other ones that we can poke fun at and make fun at, but like they're so bad, they're good. And this was not one of those movies. Like,
yeah, it wasn't a fun ride. No. As a viewer, this is where my expertise is at. I ain't never wrote no movie. I ain't never made no movie. I ain't never acted in no movie. But one thing I am good at is being a viewer. Yes. I am so good at being a viewer and taking in what you are giving me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can take the story for what it is, but you got to give me something to work with. Right. I don't want to work. I don't want to work hard to figure out this, what you're trying to tell me. Like, just tell me.
And I'm the opposite. I like, and that's why I'm always so hyper fixated on like Scream and Saw, because like those movies are the first movies or the only movies, honestly, that made me use my brain, because I like to figure it out.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
But like you said, there's nothing there that is to hold on to. Like, there was just no substance.
Yeah. And the characters didn't have any character development.
No.
And I mean, honestly, Laurie Strode, if we want to keep it all the way real, Laurie Strode had no character development from each Halloween movie as it is. She was the same.
Except for H2O. Like, H2O gave us a real adult Laurie Strode. And I feel like, honestly, they wasted Laurie in this trilogy.
Yeah.
And in this movie in particular, she's not even in it.
Yeah.
She's literally Sydney in Scream 3 in this movie. Like, you got your 20 minutes out of her all over the place.
That's it.
She did nothing but lay in the hospital bed, which one would do if they were attacked.
Yeah.
So if your main player is in critical condition, that means everyone, the ensemble, has to bring something other than they were in the other movies.
They got to step it up for sure.
All they brought was, hey, remember this person? Hey, remember this person? Hey.
Yeah. And I don't like that. That's one thing I do not like. Don't try to distract me with cameos. I do not like.
I promise you, this was the horror movie equivalent to the new House Party. Because I was over that shit too.
Absolutely. And that was my biggest critique of the movie. I enjoyed that movie. It was fun. It was fun for the kids. But I was like, y'all gotta stop with all these fucking cameos for no fucking reason.
It was fun for the kids. First of all, I've never disliked much that LeBron James did, but I literally just turned my back on him with that movie, number one. Because and I understand he's the GOAT. I love LeBron. I'm an Akron girl. I get it. But the self-serving in that movie was just a little too much.
The self-loathing, oh my.
He was like, just look how great I am, was just too much for me, okay?
Yeah.
And then part two is like, they missed the biggest part of a House Party movie. They just fucking ruined for me was the dance scene. The worst dance scene I have ever seen in a black movie in my life. It was awful. It was terrible. I don't give a shit if you give me a dark-skinned girl and a light-skinned girl together. It's not the same. Y'all really, really, really just fucked up Tisha Campbell and AJ Johnson's legacy with that raggedy ass dancing as black women. Every black girl in the 90s knows Tisha Campbell and AJ Johnson's routine from House Party. Yeah. And I don't know what that was.
Yeah. They was trying. The movie just tried too hard to just be. And I feel like they started off in the gate wrong by even naming that movie House Party. Y'all was doomed from the jump.
Yes.
Even though it was cute that Kid and Play had their little cameo, which they didn't say nothing. But it just that wasn't a House Party remake, honestly. To me, it was just two niggas that was trying to have a party. Like, I don't know, it's just two niggas. Like, I don't know,
two niggas hustling.
That was it. Yeah.
But no, I feel like before we wrap it up, I feel like this is a movie that, and not even trying to be funny, but like, you could skip this movie. You could skip the third movie. You could just watch Halloween 2018 and just be like, cool. Like, you don't even need these.
Leave it at that. Close the door. When you watch Halloween 2018, just close the door.
Yeah, I mean, we forgot the most important scene of the fucking movie. That's how forgettable most of this movie is. The most important scene in the movie is the fucking opening scene with the firefighters.
Yep. And how he destroyed a whole fire department team. How does that happen?
I don't know.
Nigga walk out of a burning house that he was locked in. Okay, they got him out. They rescued him. And this nigga, he starts demolishing them.
I mean, I like the pickaxe through the fireman's face.
I liked it too. I did.
I like the water. Like, it was beautiful, and that's the only thing I can say is the movie is beautiful. Like, David Gordon Green as a fucking director, I want to see more of his work because it was beautiful.
Yeah. It was great. That movie was beautifully shot.
And I'm a sucker for good direction and cinematography. If you
with some color, give me
you show me some fire. Yes, some new colors, some new like angles. Like I said, the fight scene with everybody in the middle of the street, I liked how like they showed everybody's hands and stuff like a kung fu movie. I loved it.
Yep.
The story just didn't have anything.
Yep. Nothing.
And that's sad coming from Halloween, because Halloween doesn't even need a story. So if you don't even need a story and the story isn't good enough for that, that's how bad it is.
Yep. Because honestly, you know, and the thing that you said about the IPs and all that, I totally get that. And you know, with a franchise like Halloween, there's already a fan base already there just because. We just waiting on y'all to tell us a decent story. You just said you don't even need you don't even need some elaborate story. Can you just have it make sense a little bit?
When are we ever gonna get the Halloween that picks up from part 6 that shows the baby? I'm still worried about the baby.
Exactly.
Right. What or give me a Halloween that literally you could just bring Jamie Lloyd back in and call it a fucking day.
Yep.
Danielle Harris would jump in that shit so quick. And I met her too. And she's a sweetheart. And I'm always going to treasure that memory because she touched my belly. But she would totally do it. And she still looks good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She would totally do it. She was supposed to come back as Jamie in the Rob Zombie movies, but it just didn't make sense the way he was writing it. Yeah. So they wrote her as somebody else.
Okay.
That's why she played Annie. Because they were initially going to bring back some of the Jamie shit, but it didn't make sense if he was starting from scratch.
Okay.
But and that's the other thing. How are you redoing Halloween? And y'all don't bring Danielle Harris in, not one scene. And she's the one that carried Halloween.
Yeah, I couldn't understand
for 2 sequels because y'all fucked up with part 3.
Yeah, I couldn't understand that either. I could not.
You couldn't get a cameo or nothing.
Nothing. Not even a mention. Nothing. Yeah.
Or I don't know. Maybe this would have made sense, people. Maybe instead of making fucking Fern from goddamn Jawbreaker her daughter, maybe you could have just, I don't know, brought in Jamie.
Yeah. It's just like it's like it was too many. It was just too many chefs in the kitchen. Too many. Way too many.
Like, I know shit ain't perfect, but the shit pretty much writes itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, if someone was to say, "Hey, pitch me a Halloween idea," I'd be like, "Okay, well, we're gonna ignore the first sequels, which totally makes sense. I love that part of it." And I'd be like, "If we're gonna do a sequel with Laurie Strode, then we need to bring in Jamie Lloyd because she's a fan favorite. She's the second most iconic character of the franchise."
Mm-hmm. Yep. Why not? What you got to lose from bringing her back? Like, what do you have to lose?
Because you're giving her a daughter anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You're already giving her a daughter. So why not go with the damn daughter that makes sense?
Right.
Yeah, okay, you're ignoring the sequels, but everybody already knows about Jamie. Mm-hmm. So it'd be a fun way of tying in that fan service while creating something new. This is why I wish I could focus for more than 5 seconds and I'd write my own goddamn movies because like it just don't make sense.
Right.
Like if they do this new Nightmare on Elm Street, I'm telling you right now, okay, now that we know that Nancy had a younger brother in canon, we know that the reason why her parents got in on it and covered it up is because he killed her little brother. We better get some type of recognition about that shit.
Yeah, definitely. And when listen, this is something we will report on the goings on of this new Nightmare on Elm Street movie. We will report as it's reported through
to us.
Like as we hear it, we will hear from us.
I promise you, I'm going to be on Critical Overlord and Viewer Anon's ass. Do you hear me?
Every day. I mean,
Twitter, like, what do you know?
I got a think piece. Every piece of detail we gonna get, I have a think piece about it already. Because I'll play about Nightmare on Elm Street. I do not play about Nightmare on Elm Street.
And you know what makes me sad is my brother, because I still haven't seen The Blackening yet. I haven't had a chance to go with the kids and everything, but my brother saw it and he was like, and we had talked about writing a horror movie like years ago.
Yep.
Because he's actually a college educated writer.
Yeah.
So he was like, nigga, he's like, everything that we always talked about in a movie, he was like,
They took it. They took it. I went to go see it. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Because we have always talked about making a Black horror comedy.
Yep. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the blackening.
I've heard it's hilarious. Like I said, I if I just could just get past like focusing, I could probably write. Like I can't do it. I'll get to the computer.
Write a little bit every day. Write a little bit. I watched this movie. Well, not a movie. I watched this YouTube video. Quentin Tarantino says he writes a page a day of his when he do his like screenwriting and all that.
Bro, I am Gail Weathers. I'm just at the computer like chapter 1.
Yes, there you go. Listen,
but that's all I get.
Yep.
Or like I'll spitball an idea to Courtney and Hoop, like you need to write that down, and then it's gone.
You need to write it down. Yes, or record yourself. Get your phone and do it like the voice recorder, something.
No, at this point, I think I'm trying to write a book, but it's not working. Every time I get the inspiration to do it, like your godchild is bugging the shit.
Yeah, I get it. Life, but hey, put a pin in it. Just put a pin in it. You're gonna circle back.
I need one of those like courtroom stenographers on my back just to
Like, hey, did you get that? Did you get that?
Yeah, you get that? It'd be gone. Like,
because the thought will be gone in a few minutes. Like, I had an idea, I had a thought, and it was gone.
Like, once I start having to make like spinach smoothies and change diapers and do flashcards, I'm gone. Like,
you gonna have to keep a notepad. Like, several notepads just around.
I know. I can't decide if I just want to go the horror route or the romance route. I mean, either way, I'm making it like blackety black, but I just feel like I don't know which route I want to go.
Yeah. You can blend the two.
No, I cannot. I'm not good at that.
You don't think so?
It's either got to be one or the other. I'm telling you now how my brain works. Like it's that's when you start writing yourself into a corner. Once you try to put too much shit in.
Okay. Yep. You're right.
Like my brain got to pick one or the other. You know, I'm a type A personality. Like it's all or nothing. I can't.
Yeah. Well, start with horror. You got an expertise in horror. Start there.
I mean, yeah, but then I have to like really tap into like my inner psyche because then like I like to liken myself as a
you have to get into a dark place.
But I'm like a Black Murder, She Wrote. So like I mean because I watch Murder, She Wrote every day. It's my favorite. And just when you watch her like acting stuff out, like that's me. And like I could picture myself like trying to sneak up on somebody in his house trying to execute a kill. And they'd be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you, Mom?"
Right.
Because I be having those thoughts like, "Ooh, I would do this if I was trying to do this," or like I'll be outside on my porch and it's dark and you know all them trees back there, and I'll be like, "What if somebody was just standing behind?" Like my intrusive thoughts will be like, "What if somebody was just standing behind that tree watching me?" Yeah, like I be scaring myself.
Of course.
I want to sleep at night. I can't be going to them dark places.
Right? That's sometimes it's too dark too. Because I don't care what nobody say. That fucking Stephen King, it's something wrong with him.
It's called cocaine. It's called cocaine, honey. He has said himself. No, for real. He said that like most of the books that he wrote that are like his bestsellers, he was high off his nut writing them books. He said him and what is it? Oliver Stone used to be on that powder real bad.
On that white girl.
Becky. Booger Sugar. It was on that shit real bad. You have to be like if you actually read Stephen King books, like not the adaptations.
Yeah.
If you actually pick up the book or the audio book and you listen to those stories, yes. I remember when I read it for the first time and I was like, yeah, this man's on drugs.
Yeah,
there's no way.
I had to close the book, and this was years. I was damn near an adult when I finally tried to read it. I closed it up. I said, "Not today, Jesus."
See, I was reading it at like 11 because I
couldn't do it.
Like between the how do I say this delicately? The prepubescent group sex scene. Because I mean, it's what happened.
Yeah.
And the celestial turtle that talks to them telepathically. I don't know. Just sounds like a drug problem to me.
It sounds like a binge.
Like, how high do you have to be like, you know what? What if there was a cosmic turtle in the universe, and he's gonna help these kids by talking to them telepathically?
Oh my gosh.
About this entity that takes the shape of whatever it finds on Earth, but in this realm, it's a clown, but it's not really a clown because when you hit it, it turns into a spider with a bunch of lights in its mouth. What the?
And then you think, yeah, they gonna like this. They gonna
yes.
They gonna
hold on. Yeah, they gonna like this.
Ooh, they gonna like this. Ooh, I'm gonna kill them with this.
Looking like Kermit, like no. Or Maximum Overdrive. That's another one.
Yeah.
Have you ever read Maximum Overdrive?
Hell to the no.
Have you watched the movie?
Hell to the no.
Okay, so Maximum Overdrive is like the one of the movies that he directed himself, and like literally in the commercial, and it's so funny if you watch it because you can tell he's high as shit in the commercial. And he goes, "I just figured if someone was gonna do Stephen King right, it would be me." And his eyes are literally this big. I'm not shitting you. And it's a story about what would happen if cars and trucks and machinery had their own mind. Started killing people. Like it's a part in the movie where this dude gets killed by a Coke machine.
Oh my gosh.
Another kid gets run over by like a lawnmower. And Emilio Estevez is in this movie, and the girl that plays Lisa Simpson, ironically, is hilarious.
Oh, okay.
Because you just hear Lisa Simpson the whole movie, but it's like they're hauled up in this little gas station, right? And like you get to the end of the movie, and like they just want gas.
Oh my gosh!
Like they get their gas, and like they're like, "All right, sorry we killed y'all. We just needed to eat.
we
were just hangry."
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Whew. All right, y'all. We gonna put a pin. Right on there. Oh, because
more of the story is stop doing drugs when y'all write these remakes because they're starting to show.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody was on that fentanyl when they was writing this shit. There's no fucking way that somebody sat down at a computer and was like, "I'm gonna kill him with this."
Yeah, I'm gonna kill him.
Hold on. Evil dies tonight! Exclamation point!
Exclamation point!
There's no way. And we're clowning you. If that was you, we're clowning you.
Yeah. Because why?
You deserve it.
Why? Because come on, man. I hope that shit haunts them in their dreams. That they really gave us Evil Dies Tonight. Out of 10. So out of 10, if you had to give this movie a rating, what do you give it?
Oh, I'm gonna give it a 4.
Yeah.
It's watchable. It's just not enjoyable.
Yeah. I would say flawed. It's flawed. It has its issues, but they did a damn good job with that cinematography. Like I can't get enough of it.
I mean, the kills gave me what I needed. Like I said, light bulb to the throat. I mean, what more can you ask for?
Yeah.
You gave me Stewart after 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, at this point, you kind of just gonna root for Michael Myers because he's undefeated. He is like championship national. He got the ring, like national championship.
And you killed Judy Greer, which was my least favorite character. So I give them a point for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of cinema's most annoying daughters to ever grace a screen.
Ever.
And I like Judy Greer, and I hated her in this movie.
Yep. She had to go. Everybody, like, just none of the characters were really that likable in this movie. Like
I literally went, and I remember I was watching it again, and I ended up watching Cursed like right after, just to remind myself that I like Judy Greer.
Yeah. For real.
But yeah, you don't do that to Fern. Like, I'm sorry, you made Fern a terrible person. I don't like it.
Yeah,
because she'll always be Fern to me.
She will always be Fern, and I love that. I love that she will always be Fern, and like, that made me want to go watch Jawbreakers now because I got to see the flyer.
Jawbreakers is another one of those like that you don't think is a horror, but it's a horror. It's a horror comedy.
Absolutely.
It's an absolute, and this is like not even like not to hold nobody, but it's probably one of the best horror comedies of the 90s, and it's like peak Rose McGowan, like Rose McGowan at like her like charmed Rose McGowan.
Rose McGowan was low key the it girl.
She was a baddie. Let's just call it what it is.
Baddie. Oh yes.
Rose McGowan is like Demi Moore in the 90s to me. Like she was beautifully flawless.
Yes.
Like I understand why she like stepped away, and I totally commend her for kicking off everything that happened with the Weinsteins. Like congratulations to her because she got the job done.
Right.
But yeah, like she was man.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be Courtney in that movie.
Yeah.
Jawbreaker, like even my clothing aesthetic, it comes like at my hotness, like it was Courtney from Jawbreaker with the corsets and the micro skirts and the pumps.
Yes. Oh my gosh, the color.
Yeah.
The black hair, like she was just
the sunglasses, like just the whole vibe. Like
she was in that movie, and I feel like that movie was beautifully, like that ending scene with them playing the tape and her getting fucked.
I just always feel like Mean Girls is diet Jawbreaker.
Yeah,
because Regina George is like diet Courtney.
Yeah, PG, like it's the PG, like
yeah, like she was the blueprint for every bitch you saw. I'm talking about Gossip Girl.
The bitch?
All that
she was the bitch that they wrote characters about.
All that shit came from Jawbreaker.
Absolutely.
So that's my 2 cents on that. But yeah, I mean, if you want to go watch Halloween Kills again and just look at the finer details, I mean, you don't have to agree. You could love this fucking movie. We don't care. But I mean, if you look at facts, it's facts. They mishandled the product, and you know. That's like the number one rule when you're dealing. You just never get high on your own supply. And they were sniffing the Kool-Aid in this.
Yeah. And it was like too bad. Like y'all had a masterpiece that could have been. It could have been something, and it's rememberable and not in a good way. It's
I just really want to know what happened to that poor man.
We'll be talking about that one next time.
Yes, we will.
Any closing thoughts?
I just really feel bad for that poor man. They made jump off that building. That's what I feel sorry for.
Yeah.
I feel bad for that poor man. I just want to know what I'm gonna leave y'all with. This is a quote from one of my favorite rappers. Maybe you know him, Thugnificent. And I thought to myself, damn, what did that nigga do to make them niggas so mad? And I'm gonna leave y'all with that. I gotta go.
All right. It's been real, y'all. Join us next week. We will be putting an end to this damn badass chapter. We will be finishing this trilogy, okay? This trilogy from hell. We will be finishing this trilogy next week. We'll be talking about Halloween Ends, and it is they built this up as if it was like a Showtime pay-per-view fight between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. Somebody's going to die, and at this point, I was like, both of these niggas can die. But we'll talk about that next week.
Yes, we're gonna watch the throwdown at the nursing home.
Yep, 2 geriatric old ass white people
fighting over a cup of Activia, because that's really
it. That is it. What was really the beef? Like, what was really the beef about? We still don't know. We just know that nigga Michael Myers was holding on to.
Get your Bayer and your Bengay ready, people. We're headed to the nursing home.
Rub it on. Get it ready.
We'll see you next time.
All right, y'all.
Bye.
All right, man, that was great.